So this is what happens when they start saying the quiet parts out loud.
Why Jesus strikes again.
Donald Trump for one reason only. His policies, if implemented, would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States.
In case you were wondering.
If he were to deport all illegal immigrants, if he were to think very hard about letting in any Muslims, all of this would slow the rate at which whites are becoming a minority.
Number one, it's fear, right? White people are in identity crisis because the identity of being white was predicated on anti-blackness, which means that their entire identity is wrapped up in America functioning a certain way. They can't even imagine living a life as a white person if they do not have the majority, if they do not have power.
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority.
He's affixed survival to control. He says, we don't control China. We don't control these other countries. America is the only country where white people are in the majority. And so in his mind, survival is connected to majority and control.
And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
If we become a minority, we will not be in control of our own destiny anymore. Y'all, they're saying the quiet parts out loud. So here's what happens. When you learn about what manifest destiny is, manifest destiny was based in papal supremacy that became Protestant supremacy that became white supremacy in America. So all of that stuff is baked into the core of the ideological infrastructure of this country.
You wouldn't want me in this country?
At some point, when my ancestors built this nation, they did not build it with the intention of giving it away to Mexicans or Chinese or Haitians or to anyone else.
Do you consider it, you keep saying your ancestors built this country, you consider that a fact?
Who else built it?
Black people, Native Americans, Chinese people who came and built the railroads.
Do you think none of that could have been
Italian
achieved?
people.
But they're Europeans.
He's not even like trying to argue. He's going, don't you think we could have done it? I mean, I know the slaves and the indigenous people and the Chinese people built this place, but we could have done it. But you don't have to prove that, right? Like, how are you going to prove that at this point? The only thing you can do is change the narrative. And the way that you change the narrative is by getting rid of the history. Because the reality is this country was built on free labor and genocide. It's theft. This is wild, y'all. And it doesn't have to be that way. The fact that in his imagination, survival for him is connected to control and majority and being at the top and being superior, when you have so many examples of people of color whose survival is affixed to the fact that they grew up and resisted colonization. We got to figure out how to root down in something besides whiteness, because this is what it is. They're saying the quiet parts out loud. And if you've seen this pyramid, supremacy can go from indifference all the way to mass murder. So the reality is that we are all imbibing this. We all have to confront this. We all have to divest of it. And if not, just tell the truth. I mean, it's just at this point, people just need to tell the truth. There is no other thing you can point to at this point. The only thing that the KKK and your Republican mama and papa have in common.
Why Jesus strikes again.